An audit shows it's unclear who received money in some Chattanooga Police Department payments to informants. Good evening, I'm Calvin Sneed.
And I'm Melissa Sperato in for Kim Chapman. The scheduled audit of confidential funds finds more than one instance of policy breach. News Channel 9's Micaiah Thurmond has more on that report.
In order to keep crime off the street, Chattanooga police use confidential funds to pay informants. But to keep operations up and running, it costs the department a pretty penny. Undercover expenditures have more than doubled since 2012, totaling almost $145,000 this year. With that amount of cash flow, it's important that officers follow protocol.
In order to do undercover work, you have to have access to funds to be able to make controlled buys and that sort of thing. So it's an instrumental part of a major city's police and law enforcement efforts.
So is the responsibility in documenting how the department's money is spent. Internal city auditor Sewell spent the past 2 months investigating whether officers were following protocol and discovered a lack of policy policing.
We try to be very responsible with the taxpayers' money. Much of this money comes from seized funds, but regardless, it is still the community's money.
But what exactly is the community's money paying for? In some cases, the audit shows officers didn't record what information they gathered from informants that they paid. Officers are required to have informants sign and confirm that they received money in exchange for a confidential tip. Chief Fletcher takes the findings seriously.
We consider the entire audit valuable.
While the audit points out instances where it's unknown what information was bought, it also found some cases where it wasn't clear who was getting paid. During a surprise cash count, the city auditor found one investigator failed to properly document a controlled drug buy and didn't make note of which informant he paid to get that information. That infraction wasn't the first of its kind. In October, auditors found at least 5 instances of similar infractions. Chief Fred Fletcher tells me that he has reviewed the entire audit and will continue to advocate for the surprise cash counts in his department.
In total, there were 4 recommendations. Chattanooga police have responded to each one and say that they are prepared to make the necessary changes. One includes requiring supervisors to conduct random and surprise reviews of informant buys. And additional personnel will also review every informant payment.